my butt. Suck my butt.
How would you children like to suck on my chocolate salty balls?
Oh, you mean like a chocolate candy?
No, I mean my balls.
Ladies and the gentlemen, welcome back to another edition
Suck my balls.
of Sucking
Suck my balls.
the Balls,
balls.
SMB,
Suck my balls.
a South Park review
Suck my balls.
of the creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. They gargle their content in our mouths and brains every single week.
Suck my balls.
How do they gargle it in our mouths? Shouldn't we be the one gargling it in our mouths?
More like
They gargle their story in my mouth.
at this point is HBO Max that's gargling their balls. Got him.
Nuts.
Go ahead and try to sue him, bitch.
Well, on
We
this
ain't going nowhere.
special day which we record, which I cannot exactly divulge the exact date because I don't want to be hacked, but it is my birthday as we record this episode, ladies and the gentlemen. So we are back.
Because there's only one gentleman that listens to this podcast.
That is correct.
Any other dude that listens to it is a fucking miscreant, and I said it.
And
Wait a minute, you're my subscriber? Yep,
and
that's me.
We welcome you as a miscreant to our miscreant of a podcast hosted by a gaggle of different gentlemen. But before we get into who's all here, why we're here, let's tell you about what you're here for. This is Imagination Land episode number 3. It is the 12th episode of season 11 and the 165th overall episode of South Park. It's SMB number 168. This episode of South Park originally aired on October the 31st, Halloween, as it concluded the October 31st, of 2007, as it concluded the trilogy that began in Imagination Land and as we previously referred to in Imagination Land episode number 2 from last week, that is. So, inside Imagination Land, Stan and Butters engage in the battle of their lives as they fight the army of imaginary forces. Meanwhile, Cartman goes all the way to the Supreme Court to get Kyle to pay up.
Battle of the bands here, boys.
We had an agreement, Kyle. I'm your host, Naheed. I can't beat you guys out of the air is dry. Your boy, MS to the G. Follow us as podcast, South Park Pod, on all outlets. Add an S on Twitter, South Park Pods. South Park Podcast on the Instagram. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you're here on YouTube. Now you're dealing with that smooth operator. So here's
I listened to this music and I thought it was ska there for about 5 seconds there, Matt.
Sorry.
I thought you were bringing it back to the trumpet days. I was excited.
No.
Happy birthday to Matt, everybody. Come on. It's just not to interrupt you continuously here, Matt, but can we get a happy birthday, Matthew Gage? Everybody at home, happy birthday. 1, 2,
Birthday,
3,
Matthew
in your
Gage.
heads, in your car, and in the bathroom, in Norway. Happy birthday.
Romania. I found out
Matt.
that we are one of the top 50 podcasts in Romania as well. That just recently popped up. So shout out to you, our Romanian peeps. Also, shout out to Jean Marie. Get your last name. You're always liking our stuff on Facebook and you interact with us, so we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably our only female fan, so we want to keep you happy. So please keep liking our.
God bless. She came on board because we had a little balance here with me. Okay.
That's it.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Bob. I will say shout out to our co-host here, Mr. Becker, who has since come on to the SMB team, has lended his intelligence, his insight, and of course, he's the man that solicits those pics and your clicks. He's the man who likes to bring the pain in the digital marketing game.
That's right, everybody. I'm as cute as a Dickens and as useful as 8-track porn. It's me, Dane Becker.
Did you know that there's AI porn now?
I mean, that the second Chat GPT was invented, it was immediately used for penis.
I saw somebody post
No doubt.
their Facebook. They're like, dude, AI porn is out. My life's over. And I'm like, well, then you probably need a stronger force in your life.
Yeah. A little more self-discipline.
Seek Jesus. Seek Jesus. So this episode starts off with Aslan, not Asian,
May he rest in peace.
reminiscing how Imagination Land used to be a happy place, but then the terrorists came. So many were killed. The barrier was broken down, and the evil creatures arrived. And now they prepare for the final battle.
Sean Penn's already on the ground.
That's right. So the evil marches forward with the woodland critters, remarking how fun the battle will be. Aslan notes that they cannot win alone, for some have never held a weapon, and they are far too few in number. Aslan then notes that this is where Butters comes in, for he has the power, yet he has yet to understand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm also not alone. We're also joined by the 2022 Day 1 South Park Red Rocks Trivia Champion. He is a doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, popphonics, scooponomics. He's also affectionately known here as a trivia god, Joe Vernola.
I had to try like 3 times to like time my smoke exhale to that.
Welcome back, Mr. Vernola.
What up, yo?
So
Like
Joe,
a top tier wrestling match, Joe Vernola has the timing. He can take the chops.
take him hard, take him fast, lay him down, touch the ass. Anyway, let's.
I'm trying not to take chops anymore.
Yeah, that one goes out to our one female subscriber.
One female. And, and any type of life form that you identify, cis, non-cis, binary, animal, I don't care. Welcome to SMB.
We love you.
We love you. That's what I meant by I really don't care. Be
How many of you feel like animals tonight? Yeah!
Okay, let's go ahead here. Let's jump into the opening recap here from the episode, and then we'll continue on explaining more about Imagination Land Episode 3.
Imagination Land used to be a happy place, but then the terrorists attacked, and so many of us were killed. The barrier came down, and all the most evil imaginary characters were unleashed. Now our final battle will take place. The evil characters are marching toward us with the intent to wipe us all out.
God.
This is gonna be
Standard
fun,
American public school.
It's gonna be fun!
Yo, that was like the most evil looking version of Marvin the Martian I have ever fucking seen.
That was crazy. He's on the evil side. I guess that would make sense. He kind of was.
Well, yeah, because he tries to conquer Earth and kill Bug. Yeah, it's just he's a comic foil.
That is gonna be fun! Anyway, so meanwhile, while this is going on, we, for the first time in his appearance, get the reemergence of the Vice President, Al Gore, who is showing people footage. Did you see? Just see right there? Man, Bear Bag. I told you he existed.
Still calling it imaginary in these episodes, Matt. That's crazy. Man, they didn't
Oh,
change
see,
their
I
mind
thought
till
that
much
may have
later.
been right. No, I know they didn't change their minds till much later. I was just going to make the dumb joke of, well, maybe this was their apology to the vice president. See, I told you it was real.
Yeah, they have conceded. Yeah.
He goes on to say that something big has happened and the American people need to know what's going on. Excelsior! As he flies off with his
Al
key.
Gore's always talking about something big.
He is. He's always talking about something big. I'll tell you what. Sugar tits. So sorry. I'm on one today, guys. It's my birthday. Yay!
No apologies. It's Matt's birthday. Let's go.
It's my birthday. Let's jump here to Al Gore talking about Amber Pig. I just thought it was great because it's like he finally gets vindication, like from getting made fun of by South Park, and
Right.
of course by the fans.
Which is probably my favorite part of this episode.
It's true.
It really is.
Not to put the cart
Back it
before
up.
the horse.
Look! Right there!
Right there.
See that? No! What does that look like to you? It's Man Bear Pig. I told you it was real.
His whole team
Look
is
again.
shocked. Like, oh shit.
There! Half man, half bear,
and half pig.
Oh my
Do you see it?
God.
Yes, we see it, Mr. Gore.
Something big is going on, and the American people need to know what. I'm off.
And he's wearing his Nobel Prize.
He's still, oh my God, leave him alone. He did a lot. It's just one of those guys that's
was his
done so
movie
much.
A Requiem for a Dream, was that his?
Yeah, yeah.
No, An Inconvenient Truth.
Inconvenient Truth. I'm sorry.
Requiem for a Dream was Jared Leto, Marlon Wayans, and a lot of heroin.
The drug one. You got to be on some drug to like either movie, though.
True that.
Yeah, that's, So now back in Washington, D.C. Memorial Hospital, Kyle's doctors discuss his status and that he's recovering, but appears to have trauma to his brain because he keeps hearing imaginary voices. Kyle's currently laying in bed, but is awoken by Stan's voice in his head. Stan's voice suddenly disappears as Cartman enters pushing a trolley. Kyle asks Cartman what has happened. Cartman replies explaining how Kyle lost the bet. You lost the bet, now you're going to check my mouse. Well, Kyle, we made a bet that if I could prove that you did Leprechaun's real, you would check my mouse.
Yeah, glad that you're alive. Let's go.
All right, so Kyle angrily explains he wants to know what happened at the Pentagon. Cartman tells him, to rest up, that made him a Sunday, that something is missing. He's bad. Kyle asks what happened to Stan, and Cartman explains that he got sucked through the portal, and now they're going to nuke it. Kyle asks if Stan is in danger, but Cartman, who is dressing up as the Pope, tells him to get ready for his Sunday with extra nuts. Are you ready for your vinegary Sunday? Yeah?
They're extra vinegary.
All right, so let's jump into that scene here of Kyle and Cartman in the hospital here as Cartman is getting ready to serve up a Sunday with some extra nuts.
Cartman, what's happened? What's happened? Well, let's see. You bet me that I couldn't prove leprechauns were real. And if I could prove it, you had to suck my balls, I believe. No, I mean, what happened at the Pentagon? You just rest, Cal. Look what I made for you. A sundae. It has hot fudge and whipped cream and a cherry, but I feel like something is missing, don't you, Cal? What else belongs on a sundae besides
He really
hot
builds
fudge
this one
and
up.
whipped cream?
Right.
Hot fudge, whipped cream. What else belongs on a sundae, Cal? What else goes on a sundae besides hot fudge, whipped cream, and... Oh, that's right. My balls. Cartman, what is going on out there? What happened to Stan? Oh, he got sucked through that portal thing, and they're going to nuke it now.
He's so nonchalant about it, too.
Yeah, he's going to die, whatever.
Cartman never gets the low-hanging fruit. You would think he's going to say my nuts, but he's just so stupid.
Right. Yeah.
My balls.
My balls, Cartman. My balls, Cartman.
Completely negating the joke as balls don't go on Sundays. Come on.
So let's jump back into imagination now. Our imagination itself, the Imagination Land characters. Jesus, the Lollipop King, and a guard go to Aslan and tell him the evil characters are nearly there. Aslan tells them to get everybody on the battlefield and to defend the castle walls. They need Butters' powers now. Butters asks what his powers are. And Gandalf explains that because Butters is real, he can imagine things into existence. He is a creator.
A crust gel.
Aslan then says to bring Santa back for the first time he was killed in the terrorist attack. Butters asks how he can do this, and the members of the Council of the Nine tell him that he just has to focus on Santa and nothing else. Whatever he focuses on will become real. So Butters closes his eyes and thinks that, and suddenly his father appears yelling, "You're grounded! You're grounded, mister!" And then this manifests into a dreadful demonic creature yelling, "Grounded!"
Holy God.
Butters is terrified, shook up, and then Aslan yells at Butters to hurry up. "You need to bring back Santa! Bring him back now!" As Butters is yelling.
See, an actual epic battle, the one that we did not
The
got.
evil characters are
When
here.
they were in heaven.
Defend Castle Sunshine.
Yeah, right.
Ganon? Fucking Ganon. Waldo's down. Oh my God. How are
There's
we
no
win?
time left. You have to get control of your imagination and bring Santa back now.
Santa.
Think! Jolly old Santa, red suit, white beard.
Red suit, white beard, Santa.
Almost.
How does that look? Can you see my
Can you see my badge?
You see my balls? Can you see my balls? So that's a good segue here. Is Cartman, what he's doing is he's organizing a photo shoot for Kyle to suck his balls, and is asking Kevin, his photographer, about the angles that they can get. Kyle tells him to shut up as he's trying to watch the news. On the news, the reporter explains how Al Gore has leaked the tape of Man Bear's Pig's attack, and the terrorists have attacked the imagination. Now the public demand to know what is going on. Goddamn Al Gore.
You can't nuke our imaginations, bro.
You can't nuke our imaginations, dude.
One of my favorite things in South Park is when the hippies yell, "Woo!" It's the best. It's just the best. They've been yelling the same way for 30 years. It's so crunchy.
All right, so let's jump in here. Aslan yelling at him, and then him bringing back Santa, and then the hippies saying,
Then the day is lost.
Wait, Aslan, look!
Brings back Santa.
What happened?
You did it, kid!
Quickly, Santa. They need you on the battlefield.
Huh? Oh, all right. Make way for Santa!
Comes.
Make way for Santa!
Now
Immediately goes
potential,
Gimli.
young creator. But there's still much more we need from you if we are to win this day.
So once again, as we've kind of as I alluded to earlier, here's Butters getting yelled at by Aslan for not bringing back Santa.
What are you doing? We need Santa!
I'm trying!
Come on, kid, imagine Santa. Believe in Santa.
You must believe in Santa! Believe in Santa right now!
Like, he gets the mean eyes and everything.
I know.
Believe in Santa right now!
See us lose.
Now that we've gotten through that, so let's jump back over here. So General Decter is shown at the press conference explaining the event, and his best course of action is to nuke our imaginations. After being questioned by General Decter, he says there's no other option apart from nuking. And they're like, couldn't you guys send Kurt Russell in? We tried to send Kurt Russell in, but he got raped by woodland critters.
Couldn't we try sending Kurt Russell into a portal to our imagination to try and reason with... We tried that, and Kurt Russell was raped by Christmas critters. Ouch.
And then the guy just sits back down.
Has he listened to hip hop in the 8 years between Bigger, Longer, and Uncut and this episode?
I think it's a different guy, I thought.
No, I thought it was the same guy.
It's the same guy?
It might be. Let me see him again.
I think the guy is different. He was bald in the movie. I think it was a totally different guy.
Oh. Are you talking about the main general? I don't listen to hip hop.
Yes, yeah.
You heard of the Emancipation Proclamation? I don't listen to hip hop. Operation Send in the Darkest.
Get Bill Gibson now.
Operation Human Shield and Operation Get Behind the Dark. God, so bad.
You said Windows 98 would be faster.
Windows 98 is faster. Okay.
It's over 5
We're all
million.
over the place.
Real, the military doesn't need Senate approval to nuke them.
That's bullcrap, man.
Oh,
you
shit.
can't nuke our imagination. Don't nuke our imagination, bro.
Mike, does the military have the authority to nuke our imagination? Clearly they don't, Stephen, and they're going to have a big problem because a state government has already set a precedent that imaginary characters are real. I cite a famous court case of Cartman v. Broflovsky, in which a U.S. court found for the plaintiff who saw a leprechaun. Yes, I believe the defendant had to suck the plaintiff's balls in that case. That's right, Stephen, yeah.
Everyone knows.
Kyle's watching it in the hospital after he died. You just can't, at that point, dude, you can't escape it. It would have been just better for you to get it over with, have the pictures taken. I mean,
you have to leave, Kyle.
You could always go back and tell Cartman just like before, hey, Cartman, this makes you gay too, bro. You're the one that wanted these photos. Go ahead. Share them. Present them.
Supreme Court has ruled with the military that imaginary things are officially not real, and therefore no approval is needed to nuke them. Thank you.
Oh, no.
This, of course, overturns any imagination-based verdicts in the past, including the famous Cartman v. Broflovsky ball-sucking case.
Right?
What?
So it appears the military is ready to proceed with its operation, one they are calling Operation Nuke the Imagination Through the Imagination Doorway.
Kyle, what's happening? The government is going to nuke Imagination Land. What? You can't let them do that! What am I supposed to do? Dude, you have to stall them! Uh-oh, what is that? Hey, get out of here! Leave me alone! Stan? Stan? Where are you going? I'm going to try to save Stan and Butters from getting nuked. Okay, but you have to suck my balls first real quick. No, I don't. The decision was overturned. We had a deal, cow! Yeah, that leprechauns were real, and the government just declared they aren't technically real, so I was right. It's over. I don't have to suck your balls.
Freaks out here.
It isn't over! It isn't over,
Goes
Cow!
ape.
I have not waited this long to see you weasel your way out of this bet. Go ahead and go. But I swear on my life, before this day is over, you will suck my balls. I swear it!
Okay, so now let's go on here. Stan explains that he was walking through the gumdrop forest and he had just seen strawberry shortcake. He hears a horn being blown and sees the battle that began. Led by Jesus, the good characters charge, but they are suffering from many characters. Aslan, as you heard, ordered Butters. He must imagine Santa, which Butters imagines. Yet this version was a monstrous version. Then eventually he did bring him back to life. You also heard that Kyle saw on the news that there was declared that imaginary characters are not real, which overturned Cartman versus the Broflowski case. And then Stan, of course, told Kyle that he's got to stall them because they're going to nuke the fucking imagination, and Stan doesn't want to die, right? Now we jump back over to Imagination Land. Icarus tells Aslan they're losing the battle, but luckily Butters has imagined Santa into existence at this point. Santa, as you saw, wielded a golden axe and began to kill evil creatures on the battlefield. And Aslan told Butters that he knows his own potential and must imagine more. All right, so now we're at the Pentagon, where Kyle is trying to get in. He's not being permitted, so he stands outside with the hippies protesting. Al Gore arrives, stating that the nuke must be sent in, for it is the only way to kill Man Bear Pig. He then tries to fly off again. All right, so here's Al Gore, Kyle and them at the rally.
Not nukes in our imagination, bro.
You don't understand. My friend is in Imagination Land. I can hear him in my head.
You pot-smoking hippies aren't getting through here, so back off.
Stop that nuke! Stop that nuke! Stop that nuke!
What's going on here?
He looks so defeated standing next to the
Military has
hippies.
to do this. It's their only way to kill Man Bear Pig.
The only way to kill Man Bear Pig. Couldn't you just go in and kill Man Bear Pig by himself? I mean, I guess there's a war going on.
Right.
Al Gore, you don't really think things out. You just kind of trap children in caves and try to drown them.
So now Butters, back in Imagination Land, has imagined a yellow bear with a bow and arrows in his hand. Aslan tells Butters to imagine more of them along the castle walls. A guard and Robin Hood appear, explaining they have defeated the vampires and werewolves, but they're all being killed by the cavity creeps. Wonder Woman questions what can kill cavity creeps, and Aslan tells Butters to imagine a tube of Crest gel. Butters does this, and Gandalf notes Butters is becoming stronger. Two imaginary characters arrive with the spy who they have captured, Stan, of course. Butters greets him, telling him everyone has he imagined Stan? Stan tells him he's real and warns the others that the government is sending the nuke in. Aslan says they can deal with the situation themselves now that they have Butters, now that they have the Chosen One. And Stan's all like, he looks at him and Butters like, yeah, I'm the Chosen One.
Believe in Santa right now.
We can do it with this ourselves. All right, so let's jump into that scene here as Stan arrives and Aslan has to convince, or Stan's trying to convince him, hey, dude, like, the government's coming. You guys need to fucking start wrapping this thing up here. Get the shit under control.
There's a nuke. The government is about to level this entire place.
What?
Well, why would they nuke Imagination Land? So the terrorists can't ever use it against us again.
We can get Imagination Land under control. The Chosen One just needs more time. Chosen One.
The Chosen One? Yeah, it turns out I'm the key.
Missile launch sequence initiated.
All right, people.
Missile launch sequence initiated. As you hear the background, and Butters mentioned, yeah, I'm the Chosen One.
I'm the Chosen One.
I'm the key. So the Pentagon there in the final stages of preparing the nuke's launch when Cartman enters through Sector 2, telling the
Sector 2?
This causes technicians to question. So basically, Cartman gives a heartfelt speech, whether what is real and what isn't real, such as God, Jesus, heaven. Are they real? Cartman is soon escorted out by yelling, "Leprechauns are real, goddammit." Kyle at this point is sitting outside the Lincoln Memorial when Stan contacts him. Kyle says he cannot stop them from nuking because they have declared imaginary things are not real.
Mm-hmm.
Stan and various imaginary characters then start talking to Stan. Stan, this is Luke Skywalker.
Stan.
I'm going to put you on now with Santa. Stan tells him that, however, he has no choice. And Kyle says that they'll prove Cartman was right and he'll have to suck his balls if he helps him. And Kyle's like, ugh. All right. Basically, Stan tells him, look, well, if imaginary characters aren't real, then I'm going to die. So you need to go convince the government that imaginary characters are real, so that way they will not nuke the imagination planet and I will not die, which Stan then points him out. Well, then, or Kyle then realizes, well, fuck, I'm going to have to suck his balls.
Dude, you can't let the government fire off that nuke. They say they can do whatever they want because imaginary things aren't real. Well, you have to convince them they are real. No way, dude. Then I'd have to suck Cartman's balls. Whatever it takes, you have to do it, all right? Hey, hang on, Kyle. Jesus wants to talk to you. Huh?
Hello, Kyle. This is Jesus.
This is Jesus.
Oh, boy.
no.
What seems to be the problem, my
I
child?
need you to suck
Jesus,
Cartman's
I can't do
balls.
anything. I'm just a fourth grader going against the entire government. Hello? Jesus?
No, hey, Kyle, this is Luke Skywalker. Look, I know this seems like an impossible
It is a
task,
really good
but you
Luke
remember when I
Skywalker.
brought down the Death Star? I mean, that seemed impossible too, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, now hold on, because Superman is here and he wants to say something.
Kyle, this is Superman.
This is Superman.
Terrible Superman.
Superman.
Superman wants you to suck balls, dude. Jesus wants you to suck balls, dude.
Oh my gosh. On the battlefield now, the evil characters appear to have taken the upper hand. The woodland critters who are attacking Popeye ask what is coming toward them. It's Butters, though, as he's floating around in a protective bubble. He's
more spinach for Pepe.
He's giving characters better weaponry, and of course, more spinach for Popeye. More spinach for Popeye.
They could have used this in World War II. Saving Private Ryan would have gone a lot differently if they could have had Butters around.
Right, and Aslan even notices that Butters is doing it, and that they will all be okay. Now, as the missile is being prepared for launch, Cartman, who has been escorted back to the room, yells that they are going to ruin everything. There's another security breach alert, and Kyle crashes through the same pane of glass as Cartman did. He tells everyone that imaginary characters have had more impact on everybody's lives than most real people, and will still be around when they are all dead. And that makes them very real. Cartman then comes in and he claps. So that way you can get everybody. General Dector tells them to abort the launch sequence, which they do. Cartman then notes that he did win the bet because imaginary creatures are real. Kyle then angrily shouts at him to let the bet go, adding that Cartman did not care about the danger Stan and Butters were in. He only cared about the stupid bet, and then they can throw him in jail for the rest of his life, but he will never suck Cartman's balls. Al Gore then enters asking what happened. After he learns the emissions aboard, he smacks the control, yelling, "Manbarpeg has to die!" And then he hits the button. The portal shakes violently, and everyone and everything is sucked in, including the missile.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to Kyle's heartfelt speech.
It's an unauthorized entry alert. It's coming from Sector 2. Sector 2?
Kyle?
The hell are you doing back here?
Listen, you don't have to do this. Our imaginations aren't running wild anymore.
Why is it so easy for children to break into the Pentagon?
You have to stop.
If I'm not mistaken,
they're not
you're the
wrong.
one who bet that leprechauns weren't real. So why do you care what happens?
Because I think they are real.
Because I want to suck
It's
Eric's
all
balls.
Think about it. Haven't Luke Skywalker and Santa Claus affected your lives more than most real people in this room?
Fuck no.
I mean, whether Jesus is real or not, he's had a bigger impact on the world than any of us have. And the same can be said for Bugs Bunny and Superman and Harry Potter. They've changed my life. Changed the way I act on the earth. Doesn't that make them kind of real?
Bugs Bunny was doing drag before it was cool.
More important than most
and then
of us
not
here.
cool.
And they're all going to be around long after we're dead. So in a way, those things are more realer than any of us.
Mm-hmm.
Cartman, as he starts to clap.
let's give it. He looks around. Come on, let's give it up. That was great.
That was great, Kyle. That was great.
Oh.
All right, so now that they've all been sucked in on the battlefield, the Lollipop King calls to Aslan that they have won the battle, for all the evil characters have been stopped. Aslan yells, "The day is ours!" But looking up, they see the missile, which explodes and destroys everyone and everything. And this is probably one of my favorite moments in just South Park. Anytime they do like these animation breaks, breaking the wall, if you will, they do it again. The next time they do one kind of like this major is, and it might come up, but for me, it feels like 15 years from season 25 with Garrison at the end, the season finale of that, when he's breaking the fourth wall and with the writers and stuff like that. So it feels like it goes a long time, but let's go into that scene here as Butters is in this blank wall, this blank room, as everything's been blown up. The imagination's been blown up, but Butters is a creator. So Butters can bring everything back to life. She does. So Butters all of a sudden brings everybody and everyone back into imagination land, which we'll get into in just a moment, which begs the question, moving forward, is everybody an imaginary character? I don't know. All right, but here's the clip here.
Vlad!
The day is ours!
Oh, shit.
Kyle! Fellas, where'd you come from?
The sky?
What is that?
Oh, fuck! Oh, my God. It's the SpongeBob future.
It's Butters just calls out of nowhere.
He's in a white Blanco void.
In a void, yeah, a white void.
How does he have a shadow?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, same. Finally, a little peace and quiet.
He's like, all right, I guess.
Hi.
I wonder if when he's that imagination, they being put back to life.
He did it!
Taking a big dump.
Oh, look!
Jesus is back.
Like,
everybody's back.
Like, is he taking a big dump? Is that how it feels like as he's imagined everything into existence?
It must be. It must be like when you have an oncoming migraine, but also a huge fart.
Brain dump.
Oh,
got
there
him.
you go, brain dump. Well, all of a sudden, the mayor of Imagination Land notes that all evil characters are now trapped behind the barrier once again. Kyle asks Butters how he managed to do all this, which he replies, well, that he uses imagination.
Yeah.
Cartman says that he's learned something today, how anyone can make anything a reality by using their imagination. Cartman then imagines himself dressed as a king, and Kyle, being imaginary, he imagines an imaginary version of Kyle, and this imaginary version of Kyle begins to suck imaginary Cartman's balls. Cartman says he told Kyle he would get him to suck his balls before the day is over. Kyle tries to argue that he's not sucking his balls as it's imaginary, but then Cartman says Kyle, he's the one who said imaginary things were real, which General Dector goes, that's true, kid, you did say that. And then everyone laughs as Cartman tells imaginary Kyle how much he loves his balls. With the exception of Stan and Butters, who just look shocked. Santa then appears, telling Kyle that they need to get home, and Kyle says he is not sucking Cartman's balls, but the mayor says, whatever you imagine to be real is real.
Oh, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle, you really like those balls, don't you?
Gobbling those balls, Kyle. You dirty good.
All right, so here's Cartman explaining.
Butters using his imagination, it makes me think that, well, maybe we all have the power to make things a reality.
Oh,
why look, it's me. And there's Kyle.
Where's Kyle?
And what's
already
Kyle
smiling.
Do?
There he goes.
Cartman, don't. Oh, Kyle, what are you doing to my balls? Oh, look, it's Kyle sucking my balls. Dude.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Kyle, you are gobbling those balls, aren't you? I
I'm
told
going
you
at
would
it.
suck my balls before this was over, didn't I, Kyle? I'm not sucking your balls. That's imaginary. No, Kyle, I believe you said that imaginary things are real.
That's true, you did.
Oh, look at you go, Kyle.
True, you did.
Oh,
Even
you
the general
dirty
gets
girl.
honest
You love
laughing.
those balls.
That's true.
You dirty girl. You love
Kyle,
those
that's enough
balls.
ball sucking.
That's enough
We need to
ball
get you
sucking,
boys
Kyle.
home.
I am not sucking Cartman's balls.
Whatever you imagine to be real is real.
Real. Oh, yeah, here, this is the end part. Looks at the screen.
Give me that as a wallpaper.
All right, here's how the episode wraps up. Now, back in Butters' room, Butters awakes, and he's awoken by his parents.
Yeah.
Butters notes the whole event was just a dream and tells his parents about it. But then Steven says it was not a dream, and he wants to know. He says he knows because he read it in the paper and asked what he was doing when he should have been helping his mother clean up the basement. His mother tells him he is grounded. Butters is disappointed, but tries to use his powers of imagination on his parents, to which Steven says will not work in the real world, and that he is still grounded. His parents leave. Butters leans back, and the episode ends by Butters going, "Ah, shit." And that's how the episode climaxes. That's how it just regurgitates all over your ear holes. It just moves. Okay, here we go.
Second phase.
Butters!
What? Huh? Oh, it was all just a dream.
Come on, Butters, time to get up.
Oh, Dad, I had the craziest dream. I saved all of Imagination Land from running wild after a terrorist attack.
You were in Imagination Land, Butters. We've read all about it in the paper. The question is, what were you doing in Imagination Land when you were supposed to be helping your mother clean up the basement?
You are grounded, mister.
Yeah, shit.
Wait, I'm not grounded.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, yeah?
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
That only works in Imagination Land. You're grounded.
Man, fuck y'all.
Shit.
And that is how the episode ends. Can you explain to me why there was rice-a-roni in my milk? Anyway.
In my Nestle Quick?
In my Nesquik, right, exactly. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break here provided by Spreaker. If you choose to support them, we appreciate it. Otherwise, hit that fast forward button. We'll be right back on the other side. Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed. You'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review. And we're back from commercial break there. Once again, shout out to our sponsors provided by Spreaker. As well as we appreciate you checking out, watching all the clips right here on YouTube. Maybe you're watching the clips on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate you checking us out, SouthParkPod. Everywhere, hit that like and subscribe button. Shout out to, of course, our boy, S to the C, the double OP. There it is.
Scoop.
Well, of course, as we let you know at the beginning of the episode, this man is the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champ. That's right. He's got some QVS Bose headphones, noise canceling, because he is the purveyor of knowledge. He is the purveyor of comedy information. And he is also a trivia god. Dover Nola.
The DVD version of this episode opens up with a Star Wars-like narration of a long scrolling text over a star background, in which the last two paragraphs read, "If the nasty things succeed, the world could forever become really lame and unimaginative." About as lame and unimaginative as a parody of Star Wars.
Got him.
It doesn't take Einstein to figure out that this was a reference to Family Guy and Blue Harvest at the time, which came about a month before Imagination Land 3 aired. Obviously, we know this is a follow-up to Cartoon Wars, and they're making fun of Family Guy. Aslan's opening dialogue and description of the final battle to take place is an allusion to the last battle in the final book, The Chronicles of Narnia, which incidentally is what Aslan is from. Butters has a Cyborg Bill poster hanging up on his door, which reads, "G.I. Bill won't run." The episode features the third appearance of the Woodland Critters and is the second appearance of Al Gore, who, as I said earlier, can be seen wearing his Nobel Prize. This episode does not censor the word shit, which is said by Butters at the very end of the episode. Technically, since Eric, Stan, and Kyle were all killed by the nuke and brought back by Butters, they are now imaginary, therefore making Kenny the only one of the four who is not imaginary.
Right, so by canon,
absent.
So by canon standards, that's what I was thinking. Are they all just imaginary now moving forward? Is South Park, did this right here create a flashpoint? All right. And now we've got two parallel alternating timelines in which one, they are imaginary and Cartman gets boobs. And then we've got the alternate timeline now, which is what we're currently in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Star Trek teleportation paradox. Is like, if they consider it real, are they the same mind, the same consciousness, or did the boys' consciousnesses end and then a new set of consciousness begins? And even if you think that imaginary is real, does it feel different to you? Is this a different Kyle? Who knows? It is. It's a very strange question to think about when you think about the rest of the show.
I'd like to.
So you're telling me this is all a dream, like the end of St. Elsewhere?
Well, I'd like to. It'd be interesting for us now to just pay attention going forward to how Kyle has written it and acted, because as we've noticed, I mean, especially when you get into the later season, there does become some sort of resentment toward Kyle, right? For his, I learned something today here speeches.
Preachy,
He's seriously going to give a speech. Right
yeah, I love that so much.
Give a speech right there, right? So it'd be interesting to see if we can kind of like pick out certain points over the next 7 seasons that we continue to review this show, where we see the slow fall of Kyle's, I don't know, morale mentality being accepted by everyone else. Joe, continue on.
Somehow Al Gore was not sucked into the portal when everyone else was.
Right?
It's a hole you can drive a Mack truck through.
It's like last week.
Are we talking about Al Gore?
Last week, Kyle didn't get sucked through, and this week,
no, Tipper.
And this week, Al Gore didn't.
Correct.
I think I just killed Dane.
Tipper.
Bitch is the reason why there's labels on half the CDs I own. This episode, along with the other 2 parts of the trilogy, won an Emmy Award in 2008 in the category of Outstanding Animated Programming for 1 hour or more. This is the first and only time the show has been nominated for that particular category, as well as the show's 3rd Emmy overall. And Aslan's voiceover at the beginning of the episode is a shot-for-shot parody of a scene in The Two Towers.
That's right. So that is your references to trivia. I would have you read the continuity, but we kind of already talked about it. Al Gore, he made his return, but then they noted here, as far as my reference to continuity, that he was still on the hunt to kill and will do anything to kill Man Bear Pig, even though he was under the impression that he killed Man Bear Pig in the episode Man Bear Pig when the mine collapsed. Maybe I'll make a movie. And then the other thing, of course, was Stan referenced the previous episode by saying that he passed Strawberry Shortcake tied up and dead with pee in her eye, as we heard the Woodland creators plan that in the previous episode itself. There's nothing else really notable, no pop culture references, no blunders. There's a couple dubbing changes that they made as far as the title in different countries like French, German, Italy, Polish, Spanish. And
we need to start referring to this as the English translation of the Polish title.
That's right.
Wetting the Sack.
Yeah, so
it's a Blink-182 song, I think.
Their title, which I'm not going to butcher how to speak Polish, but the translation is Imagination Land Chapter 3, Wetting the Sack. That is their translation of the title. There's a couple other ones. Italian, it translates to Land of Imagination, 3rd part. German, Fantasyland, Episode 3. But the other, French, Spanish from the Latin Americas, and from Spain, they all have just Imagination Land, Part 3. So that is your recap, your trivia. A little bit of continuity references there. Joe, what did you like about this episode?
I think I made the reference to the one joke I liked earlier. Believe it. There were a lot of good one-liners in here. The Sector 2 joke continues on. Of the 3 episodes, this is probably the weakest part, though. I just am not, and which is really weird because I usually like butter-centric episodes, and this is like a trilogy of butter-centric episodes.
So you felt out of the 3, this was the weakest of the arc itself? Like the culmination of the story was weaker than the first 2 parts?
Yeah, because maybe just because to me some of the jokes either fell flat or it didn't have as many jokes. But you were part 2 of this trilogy is, in my opinion, is basically The Empire Strikes Back.
It really is. It leaves you on such a down note,
Mr. Becker.
Right, and I get the leaving Butters grounded to fit the everything, but God damn it just makes me hate Steve and Linda.
Mr. Becker, what'd you like about this episode?
What I liked about this episode is that the genius of Trey's writing shows through yet again, that there is something that this man can do in front of a final draft program that no one else on earth can. The way it ends with literally the entire point of the show being concentrated in the A story of the show, the arc of Kyle sucking Cartman's balls, how everything ties together in that one simple, beautiful little moment that it does not need to be explained. All he does is imagine it, and it is real. And it goes all the way back to the very first scene of this 3-episode arc. And I'm like, God damn it, Trey. Every time I think I've got him, I understand, I know, the therefore buts afterward, blah blah blah, he surprises you. He comes out with a fucking banger. He comes out with a Cupid Yee, and it's like, God damn it, man, I thought I had you pegged, but you're the one pegging me.
That's right. Well, I agree with what you said. You got me. I laughed. I laughed at. Of course, I mentioned the other episode. I like Aslan yelling at Butters, "Bring him back! Bring Santa back now!" I just his believe in Santa, right? Believe in Santa. Or later on, we need more time. We have the chosen one. Wait. Yeah, I'm the chosen one. But yeah, the funniest part, of course, of this whole episode is Cartman's final redemption in his story arc here, as he gets Kyle to suck his balls because Kyle openly admits that imagination characters are real, thereby stopping the nuke. So, unfortunately for Kyle in this situation, Cartman does find him, kind of in between a rock and a hard place, and he imagines himself and Kyle having sexual intercourse via the mouth, his balls in Kyle's
oral succulation, as they say.
Oral succulation.
Fellatio.
Wow.
Relations. Anyway, so I like Joe got the reference. I liked it. It was a good episode. But I think I would agree with Joe. Empire was better in this case. The second episode, I thought he did have some good high points. But yeah, as far as from the first 3 episodes, if you watch it isolated, this would probably be the weaker of the 3. If you watch it if you just sit down and watch it in one succession of 1 hour, you might have a little bit of different feeling because you're kind of getting the full story arc in one go. But if you do split it up, definitely the 3rd episode is a little bit weaker in comparison. But them wrapping up the crux of the full arc, as you mentioned, of Kyle having to suck Cartman's balls, it is nice that there was a resolution to that. So
fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead.
It just popped into my mind. This one, I feel, and I might be wrong on it, kind of started their trend of having a trilogy at the end of the season, which then led into the serialization of a couple of the seasons. And maybe that's another reason why I'm not totally behind this trilogy either, because some of those trilogies were really good. You get the DP trilogy or the Coon trilogy, whichever one you want to call it. Some of those are good, but then some of them just fell flat. And then I'm on this side that while they were good and they had some banger episodes, I don't know if those seasons needed to be serialized either.
This may be a cold. This is true that this may be a cold take or a hot take to build up on that, but I personally think that the Black Friday trilogy is way better. It's way better than Imagination.
Yeah, the Black Friday trilogy is a banger.
It's a banger, dude.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'd have to say that Joe alluded to it there. I thought the Coon series, or the Mysterion Rises, if you will, Captain Coon to Hindsight, Mysterion Rises, I thought that triple package.
Fantastic.
Season 14, which you can go on our TikTok and you can see I've actually been clipping a lot from season 14 recently. All up there. That's one of my favorite seasons itself.
It is so good.
So yeah, I thought that. So I would agree that there's some serialization. I also think that what is it, the Millennials Against Canada, even though that's a 2-part episode where they blow up Norway and stuff, or Canada or whatever, that's a great episode too. That whole serialization itself, I like that.
That one's good. That one's like the Force Awakens for their movie. It really felt all right.
Right,
reboot is here.
They retconned it. Exactly, they rebooted it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, though, that's going to do it for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. I'm your host, Nick Heat. You can't be beaten, you guys. However, the areas draw. Your boy, MSG. Follow us as a podcast by going to SouthParkPod on all outlets. Linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. Visit us on Instagram at SouthParkPodcast and on Twitter at SouthParkPods. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode, and if you'd like to see more content from us. We put up tons of content every day, from clips as well as previous episodes from season 1. Get caught up right here on the YouTube. The man who likes to bring the pain in the digital marketing game. The man who likes to solicit those pics to get your clicks. He's a writer, he's a producer, and the director. Derby City Wrestling.tv. What's coming up? You're a couple weeks away, Mr. Becker.
Premier television event, Matthew Gage. Derby City Wrestling presented by Car Shield. Sunday, March 26, 2023, 5 p.m. bell time at the Norton Healthcare Sports and Learning Center, as well as on My 58 local Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Tickets start at $12. You can go to derbycitywrestling.tv for more info. We got everybody coming. Impact, AEW, championships on the line, kids free. Watch it. And then every thereafter Saturdays at noon, you can catch us. derbycitywrestling.tv.
All right. And of course, this man is a doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, scooponomics, polyphonics. As we mentioned, the 2022 Red Rock Day 1 South Park Trivia champion. He's also a writer and booker of Primos Pro Wrestling. Joe, what do you got coming out? Tell us about Omega and Alpha Omega 9.
We got the Alpha 9 coming up. You can stay tuned.
He totally fucking no-sold me there.
For more.
Joe knows how to do it. Joe knows how to keep in business mode.
Yes, we got the Alpha 9 coming up. You can stay tuned to our social media pages for the announcements on talent that is going to be there. There are some big names coming up from AAA, from Vegas, from all over the place. So definitely check that out. You will be able to get that on Fight. And then I will also be doing English commentary for a Lucha Libre show, IWC Revolution, Independent Revolution, I believe it's IWC Legacy in Denver. That will be on Fight as well. I will be doing the English commentary on that.
Well,
Juventud Guerrera.
All right.
Yes, boy. Yes.
Hot damn. Everything is going on here for these boys. So once again, check out derbycitywrestling.tv. Get your tickets. And of course, if you're in the Denver area too, check out primosprowrestling.net and just Google IWC in Colorado. And I'm sure those tickets will come right up. You'll find the link right there.
That's right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it today for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. We'll be back next week as Stan and Kyle, well, it's time they set forth on the path to superstardom. And we'll find out, can they get 1,000,000 points? Can they lock superstardom? Can they carry on Wayward Son? We'll find out.